Hi, Joe Bonnier for FastPitchPower.com. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate and instruct you through a very practical preseason softball fitness exam or fitness combine. I think this exam is very easy to implement if you have two coaches, a head coach and an assistant coach, two assistant coaches, even two parents. Two parents could run 15 to 20 athletes through these tests and grade those athletes while still being able to grade those athletes very fairly. I've tried to remove as much subjective assessment or subjective qualification out of this exam, make the guidelines for scoring or grading very clear cut so the parents, coaches, athletes get a very fair assessment of the athlete's fitness capability. I've chosen exercises that I believe exhibit or expose softball-specific fitness capacities that I don't think takes too much to convince you the value of. So, core strength. I don't think it takes much to convince you that our athletes need core strength. Right? Coaches, parents, athletes will all agree. Lower body power, moving in a straight line. Right? As I'm running down the first base path, as I'm pushing away from the pitching rubber. Lower body power or explosiveness, moving side to side, as your infielders would need, as your outfielders would need, as your catcher will need. And lower body strength on one leg with an element of balance and endurance, which we're also going to assess. Okay, I think we want coordinated athletes with good stamina. I think we can all agree, parents, coaches, athletes, on all of those capacities. All right? I had to limit the number of tests because, again, this has to be the most practical, fair-to-grade exam that I could come up with. Right? Everything else kind of became a little bit too complicated, I think, and most importantly, I wanted an exam in which if athletes, as they approach the season, knew was coming and decided they procrastinated and they're going to now panic and only train for the fitness test and not specifically for softball, if they train for these tests, they end up coming up with a pretty solid fitness program on their own that's going to combine core strength, lower body power, and lower body strength. Listen, if you're going to run your athletes through a preseason fitness assessment that is just a running test, what are your athletes probably going to do in the offseason? They're going to prepare specifically for that test. And sure, going out for a run 3 to 5 days a week is going to prepare them to endure that running test a little bit better. But they're not going to improve their softball-specific fitness capacities, power, strength, balance, core strength, that a more complete fitness program or fitness training plan would lead to. If you like as I've mentioned a bunch of times, that complete fitness approach is going to lead to benefits in both directions. You're going to have your athletes would score better on your general fitness running test, but they would also see softball-specific benefits. So if you use these tests as your preseason softball fitness assessment, they're probably going to train for the test. But by default, they're going to see softball-specific performance improvement. You're going to have athletes who have better core strength, better lower body power, and better lower body strength, balance, and stamina. Okay, so it's win-win. They're more fit, and they're more fit for softball. That's what we're looking to direct your athlete toward. Right? In my opinion, what this test should expose in younger athletes is your more athletic athletes at 12, 13 years old are probably going to score better. What this hopefully would do is show your athletes who aren't as skilled on the field that there is some correlation between athleticism, fitness, and softball performance. As the athletes get older, as the level of athlete is higher, where everybody is at a more similar level on the field, skill-wise, what this should show you, and this takes maybe a few years of information gathering and record keeping, is that your athletes who are less fit are possibly more prone to injuries throughout the season and slumps. Okay, seasonal performance decrement. Okay, your more fit athletes, which you're looking to expose, are going to be your more consistent athletes throughout the season. Your athletes at lesser risk of injury. Certainly, a fit athlete can get injured. But in the long run, at that level, at 17, 18 years old, what you're looking to prove to these athletes is that the more fit athletes are the more durable. They're going to be able to perform longer throughout the season, throughout their career, 2-3 years down the road. So the younger the athletes are, the more clear the correlation will be between athleticism or fitness and performance on the field. As the level of athlete, the level of softball skill increases, what you're looking to hopefully prove is that fitness relates to durability and performance consistency, all right, which I really sincerely believe in. All right, there isn't enough research specifically on softball to clearly suggest this, but I think you can make enough of an argument that this makes sense. And if you followed my videos previously on fitness and the benefits of fitness and the implications of general fitness training and preparedness on softball-specific skill and performance, I think you can make a reasonable argument to convince you that athletes need to be fit and stay fit, all right, to remain durable throughout their career. Okay, let's get into the test. We're going to test core strength. I'm going to give you 2 core strength tests. I'm going to give you 2 lower body power assessments, and then a lower body test that combines strength, balance, and stamina. Okay, which again, I think we all can agree, we all want our athletes to exhibit this. All right, first core strength assessment. 45-degree leg raise hold. You're going to set up with a towel. I'm the athlete here. You need a coach with a stopwatch, a set of eyes, and a hand. All right, I'm going to set up this towel underneath the middle of my back, okay, with my feet above a bench or step. My legs, once I raise my legs here, I should be at about 45 degrees, okay? The coach's responsibility is to keep an eye on the athlete's legs and feet and to pull on the towel. The athlete's responsibility is to keep the legs long so the feet remain over the bench, off the bench. Okay, so 2-3 inches off the bench or step or whatever this object is. Okay, you're keeping the legs straight. If they pull the feet back, okay, test is over. Feet have to remain over the bench. The other responsibility of the athlete is to crush the towel. If the coach feels some sudden dislodging of the towel, some movement of the towel, the athlete has lost core stability, test is over. What you're looking to do, the coach is going to time how long the athlete is able to keep their feet over the bench, legs straight, while engaging the towel. This is a test of core strength. Okay, I'll get in the position, demonstrate the position. Feet on the bench. Arms are going to be up straight so I can't use my arms. When my coach says go, I lift my feet, I crush the towel. The coach is trying to steal the towel from under my back. I'm holding. Okay, once I begin to fatigue, the towel either slips or my feet, I have to rest my feet. Test is over. Scores could range from 30 seconds and above, 30 seconds or below being it needs improvement. I've seen a minute 30 being sufficient core strength. I think between ages of 12 to 18 years old, you're looking for the minute is kind of a goal. All right, if your athletes can hold this position for a minute, it's safe to say that can they benefit from additional core training on their own? Certainly, it's not going to hurt them. But these athletes, it isn't a red flag for these athletes. All right, so straight leg or 45-degree straight leg hold. The next test is side plank, and I actually have to get a foam roller. I'll be right back. All right, I use a foam roller for this test. I place it under the hip pocket or the hip area, the belt buckle area, as a guideline for your athletes. You could use a softball, anything you need, anything you feel that fulfills the same role. This test is going to be a side plank. I'm going to bridge up, keeping the foam roller underneath my pocket, my arm up to the ceiling, and as the coach, I should be able to slide this foam roller underneath my hip. All right, if you're sliding the foam roller, or if you're moving the ball or whatever object you've used as a guideline, as a technical guideline, and it gets stuck, okay, because I dropped my hips and now it's stuck, test is over. Okay. It's also important that the athletes remain in a straight line. So if you see in the side plank position that your athletes are shooting their hips back, their head is dropping forward, you're allowed to give them one correction. They're able to correct it, get back in another position, but as soon as they break from that position, test is over. Again, this is a test for time. You're looking for your athlete to hold that position, maintain the hips up underneath the foam roller, whatever you decided to use. Okay, test left side, test right side. I've seen scores from 25 seconds up to above 2 minutes. All right, so it does range with young athletes. You want to be relentlessly technical with your grading. Okay, be honest. If the feet on the first test, if the feet tap the bench, test is over. Okay, if their hips touch the foam roller, test is over. Be tough. Okay, because if you're too flexible, tests can go on forever, and you want to be as fair and as tough as possible. So, all right, those are the two core tests. Again, with the side plank, you're going to test right and left side. Again, the athlete's responsibility is to keep the hips up. Coach's responsibility is to make sure they keep the hips up, abide by those technical standards, and time them with a stopwatch. So after these two tests, you should have 3 scores. The straight leg hold, side plank right for time, side plank left side for time. Now I'm going to turn the camera around and show you our 2 lower body. Our first lower body assessment is going to examine power moving straight ahead, moving linearly, as I would running down the first baseline or pushing away from the pitching rubber. We're going to use standing long jump as our assessment. Now I've placed a hurdle 2 or 3 feet ahead of me as a coaching tool to help prepare the athletes in the air to land in a better position. Ideally, when we do a standing long jump, we want to make sure that our athletes start in an athletic position, but more importantly, prepare their legs and prepare their body to land in an athletic position. We don't want them landing on stiff legs. What this hurdle or object, whatever you decide to use, does is forces them to pull their legs up and in like landing gear, and then extend them out in front in a safe athletic position to land. Okay, so it's an easy way to just increase the element of safety in this power assessment. Long jump is super simple. You start in an athletic position, you jump as far as you can. You want to land in an athletic position. Start, jump, and land. Okay, walk it back. Again, doesn't matter what scores I've seen, it matters what scores you record. I've seen scores from 4 to 8 to 9 feet. Okay, and this will, obviously, there will be a lot of variability with athletes of different ages, sizes, and positions. Okay, but that's going to be a pretty fair assessment of power moving straight ahead, moving linearly. I would suggest you start with 2 to 3 warm-up jumps, 50, 65, 75%, and then game speed. Okay, to get your athletes used to preparing their legs out in front to land. Land low, land soft, use whatever cues you have to do to get them landing in a safe position. Also, I would measure, all right, you're going to measure the distance, all right, if their toes start at 0, okay, measure where their toes land. So if I land out here, my toes are at 7. That's going to be a 7-foot long jump. You want to measure, again, I use like a long stick ruler or yardstick. You can use a bat just to kind of cross the line of the trail foot. Wherever the trail foot crosses, that's going to be your scoring criteria. Super simple, okay? So that's power moving straight ahead. Long jump. Next is going to be a lateral bound. You're going to start on one leg. Inside here of my left foot starts at 0 on the outside of 0. I'm not inside the tape measure. I'm on the outside of 0. I'm going to jump off one leg, I'm on my left leg in this example, land on my left leg, land on my right leg, put the left leg immediately down. I do not care about landing ability or single leg balance in this test. I care more about safety and horsepower off this drive leg, laterally. This is assessing lateral power side to side. I load on one leg, okay, I'm going to jump to my right, stick, get that foot down. Okay, quickly to regain balance. I do not care about landing ability on that right leg. Okay, jump, 1, 2. Now on the other side, same thing. Load, jump, 1, 2. Get that foot down quickly. And do not have your athletes, ask your athletes to land and stabilize on one leg. But the easiest rhythm for them to achieve their best score is to go 1, 2. All right. You're measuring where the inside of their lead foot lands. Okay, so it'll be the inside of my right foot in this example. Again, try a few jumps, 2 jumps, facing each direction, 50%, 75%, and then have them go game speed. Make sure you have your yardstick or a bat on the spot to measure where the inside of the lead foot contacts the ground. Those are our 2 simple assessments to measure lower body power, moving linearly and laterally. Final assessment is going to be our lower body strength assessment, which also examines an element of balance or coordination and stamina. Again, capacities that I think we all agree we want our athletes to exhibit. Our lower body strength, balance, stamina test is our rear foot elevated split squat. Been following along the off-season program, you know this is an exercise that I use a lot. To get set up, you're going to get back to our bench, step, box, bucket, whatever you have that is sufficient, that fulfills the role of the bench in my example. You're going to arrange the athlete with one leg forward and 1 foot on the box or bench or step or whatever it is. To get set up, I want you to take the athlete all the way down to the ground so their knee touches. They need to see that they can't have too much of their back foot on this step. Right? Honestly, it doesn't matter if your step is as high as mine. It doesn't matter if you have a few mats or ball gloves built up as a landing, as a crash pad for your athletes. As long as the test is consistent across for every athlete on your team. All right? That's all that matters, is that consistency. So in this position, my knee is right underneath my hip. My chest is slightly forward. I stand back up. Okay, so I'm going to just drop straight down, take that back knee to the ground. Touch, come back up. Touch, come back up. I'm on one leg, really. I'm biasing one leg in this position, so I'm challenging balance. Single leg strength on one leg. And the test is going to be a 2-minute test for total reps. And what I mean by that is your responsibility of the coach is to have a stopwatch. You're going to time a 2-minute interval. Right? You're going to keep that stopwatch running for 2 minutes. The athlete is going to complete as many reps as possible in 2 minutes. Touching all the way down, whether you have a mat, whether it's the turf or a ball glove, okay, all the way down, all the way up. Standard here is this front knee has to extend fully. Okay, rep doesn't count if the front knee doesn't extend fully. Reps don't count. Reps with loss of balance, okay, where this back foot has to come off the bench so they can regain their balance, don't count. All right, so the front knee has to extend fully as well. All the way down, all the way up. Athlete is going to continue for 2 minutes, switching legs whenever that leg gets tired. You're going to count total reps. So I may choose to do 15 on my right, then switch, 15 on my left, 10 on my right, 10 on my left. Okay, 10, 10, 8, 8 until 2 minutes is up. You're going to count total reps. You're going to count reps between each leg. So you should have 3 numbers: right reps, left reps, total reps. Okay, 50 is the number. Get your athletes around, all your variant athletes around 50. That's going to be a pretty good score for athletes of 8th grade all the way up through senior year, 17, 18 years old. Okay, as the athletes get bigger, this gets tougher by nature that they have more mass to move. Your smaller, more agile athletes will have an easier time, but your taller, bigger athletes, okay, this will be tough. If you're working with a 17-year-olds, 18-year-old seniors who are stronger, feel free to hold on to a medicine ball. Standardize this test by holding on to a medicine ball, make it a little bit more challenging. Hold on to a small kettlebell if you've been incorporating that into your practices or warm-ups. Anything you need to add resistance, you can do that as well. With younger athletes, I do strictly body weight. With older athletes, even my adults that I run these types of tests through, I'll have them hold on to a medicine ball. Okay, but again, the numbers that I've seen don't matter. It's the numbers that you've seen in your consistency. So you now, after all those tests, we have a straight leg hold, side plank right, side plank left, standing long jump, lateral bound off the left leg, lateral bound off the right leg for distance, and then the rear foot elevated split squat. 2-minute test. You're going to have total. You're going to record total reps, reps on the right, reps on the left. That's our assessment. That's your combine. Remember the benefits of this example. You may choose to incorporate others if you think you have the facility, time, qualifications to assess other things that you want to include. But this assesses core strength, lower body power moving both straight ahead and laterally, and single leg strength, balance, and stamina. All those capacities which I think we want our athletes to exhibit. Remember that when you're going to require your athletes to, if you're going to include a preseason fitness test, most likely your athletes are going to train specifically for that test. Organizing or arranging a test like this forces them to train for the test, but by default, actually, they're going to build softball-specific fitness that they're not only going to help them get more fit in general, but also going to prepare them a little bit better for the field. So you're going to have stronger, more agile athletes come preseason.